Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to change it to Anna Maria.
Anna Maria. Guess what? We are live. And we are live. We are on Facebook. Everything works swimmingly. And we're not in a pool. And it's Sunday night, even though I might look like I'm in a pool with this hair at this moment. And thank you, everyone, for being here with us right now. Whether you're watching us live or on the replay, if you're live, write the word live if you're watching us on social media. And if you're watching on the replay, let's go ahead and write the word replay. Obviously, you're not going to write that now because obviously we're live. And if you're in our Zoom room, we would love, I just love the sound of that. Can you let us know in the chat what had you say yes to showing up tonight? What are you hoping to take away from tonight's show? And just let us know any questions you have. You know, you came for something. We want to make sure your questions get answered. Don't be shy. And also, thank you, Eric Fong, for being part of the virtual magic behind the scenes. There's a lot of magic that happens. And my name, by the way, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Erica Rose Siegel, and I am your grateful realtor. And I have the honor and the privilege of helping people with all of their real estate needs anywhere in the world. And yes, I am going to take over the world one home at a time. And I'm so grateful for my emails continuing to be pinged. That means people are registering. And I'm also grateful to be here with all of you tonight. And for this being the 3rd of January and the first show of the new year, and for us to be able to have real, raw conversations that are important about the growth of everyone here. So we ask that if you're celebrating the new year, you're excited about the new year, whatever you are feeling at this moment, I want you to send love, because there are conversations that can end the upset at any moment by sending love. So put love in the chat, love on Facebook, and anything you could be grateful for in this moment, wherever you're finding this video. And I am handing it back over to someone I'm extremely grateful for while I clean my glasses, Jasmine Yan.
Thank you, Erica, for the introduction. Like Erica said, my name is Jasmine Yan, and we are here to celebrate your success, especially in the new year, right? So on our Celebrate Your Success Sunday series, we're talking about various things. And one thing we're talking about is obviously budgets. But just to give you some insight about me, I am your super savvy shopper here, and I am blessed to be able to educate people about how to save money and earn money while shopping, and to help create a career out of it, which is something that I think is a perfect match for our grateful realtor Erica here, and everyone out there stressing about money, health, and trying to create a little peace of mind and stability, especially in the new year. Our Sunday evening nights, where we celebrate our success series, is devoted for us to have real, raw, real stories, real value about real estate, real financial gains about being a savvy shopper, and genuinely speaking, about saving lives. So happy New Year to all of you as well. Oh, and for all of you who don't know and who haven't heard, Erica Rose Siegel, our grateful realtor, and I are on a mission to help a minimum of 1 million families anywhere in the world that are affected and plagued by domestic violence in our lifetime. And we want to make sure that everyone here is joining in with us for that mission, right? So please reach out to Erica or myself, but Erica, especially if you or know someone, or someone you know, sorry, can't even speak today, that might be having some real estate needs, or if you would like to be a part of our movement. You know, for us, it takes a village. We know all of you are part of our village, and we appreciate your help. So Eric can actually post our link tree out if you want to schedule an appointment with Erica, because I know for me, Erica has definitely been a wealth of knowledge, and her resources are growing exponentially. And in addition to that, I know that there are probably a few folks in the room that definitely can also offer some resources as well as Erica, right? So we might be calling on some of you in our community, and definitely please feel free to write in the chat. We will be reading some of the things that you write out loud to our audience, especially on Facebook and, you know, our YouTube audience. So definitely make sure you're doing that. And we want to make sure that all of you know that our world needs gifts like all of you, right? All of us can give back to our community and give back to the world. So we just want to make sure that we're doing that. So if you have a moment or you have a thought, definitely write it in our chat. And once again, we thank you all for being here and being a part of our movement.
We do thank you. And we are very happy to see so many new faces in this room. I'm actually also very happy to see because my glasses apparently are very dirty. I have no time to clean them. But yeah, and I really do want you to know that your questions, your comments, you getting clarification means the world to us. And if you want to hear something more specifically, you're like, hey, I was hoping to hear more of this or more of that, or I mean, Karen Berman asked me some questions that were brilliant. And so it's the topic for our show next week. Like literally it was like, ask me something. So I'm excited because I want you to tell us what you want to hear so that you can put us to work for you. And we can also add massive value to your world. Excuse me. We're both at a loss for words at this moment. And yet we're not. So you can write to us publicly, privately, and even schedule a consultation for myself or someone you care about. Or with Jasmine or for someone you care about. Oh my goodness gracious, we are tongue-tied. I'm gonna go grab an oil while Jasmine's talking in a moment. And just so you know, Jasmine has actually been teaching in a classroom setting for 18 years. And I was a classroom teacher for 3. And I've been educating people about the real estate market for 13 years. And we're passionate about helping people. So today we want to be able to give back to our community and to be able to share the knowledge that Jasmine, our super savvy shopper, has about what this year is all about, which is making sure that we are all responsible about our finances and our financial goals. You see, we're definitely truly grateful that all of you are spending our Sunday night with us, learning the tips, the strategies, and the techniques, and how to really stay on a budget in this new year, because 2021 is where we're at. And we want to show you how you can save money and at the same time create an earning for yourself. So, Jasmine, while I go grab an oil, why don't you, or why, instead of why don't you start by telling us, why should our community, our family, our friends, and all the watchers out there turn into this episode or topic right now? Why is it so important to be financially stable and more specifically, financially responsible?
Well, Erica, definitely. Those are some great questions. Since we are in the new year, you may or may not know this, but a lot of people actually make New Year's resolutions about money. Specifically financial goals, right? Oh, I want to save this. I want to pay off that, right? You know, like I said, goals such as paying off their student debt, paying off their holiday spending, saving for a vacation. I mean, right now during this pandemic, you might not be going on vacation, but you can save for one. So when we can go, you can go, right? So I thought it'd be a great idea to share some tips that I've researched and personally have used throughout my adult years to help me with my financial goals, which could definitely help with our community, our families, our friends, and our viewers out there, right? Everyone is so busy already. And it's so important that people learn about their finances. I don't think anyone goes to school and says, hey, you know what? I'm going to learn how to budget myself. I'm going to learn how much I need to buy a house or how much I need to have in the bank. No one has these conversations. Maybe you might have it with your parent, maybe you might have it with some friends, but on an everyday basis, people don't have these kinds of conversations. So I think, it's important that people learn about their finances and get educated. And as Erica said, education for me is my forte. So a lot, when I think about it, I always have to think, what are your financial goals that you might have or want to have? And, if it's something that you're, thinking about right now, put it in the chat. Let us know, what are your financial goals? Or let us know, if you want to have a certain amount of goals met in regards to your finance. because if you're watching or if you're on the replay, put it in the comments. It's really important because sometimes just putting it out there sparks an idea, sparks an interest, and sparks like a further thought, right? So that's one of the reasons. And another reason, and I mentioned it before, I was living beyond my means. I'm a teacher for working for the Department of Education. Erica's known me for over 20 years. I am not the type of person to say no to anything. If you're like, Jasmine, let's go to Costa Rica tomorrow, pre-pandemic, obviously, I'd be like, yes, let's go. And I would just swipe it on my card. And that's really what people have been doing, living that kind of American dream, swiping their card here and there. And that debt builds up. And you don't even realize. And then the next day, the next year, you're like, man, I owe this amount of money. So having that financial education is really key because you know what? There's a lot of people out there that want to buy homes, right, Erica? Or even sell homes. But being able to afford a home, you definitely need to have that savings. You need to have those goals. So that's why I thought it would be a great idea to talk about it in the new year as one of our first episodes.
Well, I think it's a fabulous idea, and especially we'll laugh because, and I agree with you. We do need to figure out our budget. And I know you've personally helped me get my finances in order. On the first of the year, we started out with a nice little bang in a little explosion in my apartment, in my kitchen, which is nice. And so, but there's been a lot of different, we'll call it surprises that have come across my desk over the past few years. Hey, Ladybug, we're on Zoom. You're here with us. Yeah, this is Princess Fiona. And Jasmine has done a great job in helping me get my finances in order. And with your help, Jasmine, I've been able to really, truly see how I spend money, and not only what I can do, what I can help others do. And so my friends, my family, and my clients, my customers, just anywhere I go, I'm always saying like, oh, just click on this link, schedule a consultation, or just reach out to this human, because you really can help them save on everyday things like taking care of your kitty cat, right, baby doll? So Jasmine, how can we actually stay in a budget going into the new year? Because I'm excited to hear what you have in store for us tonight.
Thanks. Me too. I like to share it, right? Well, there are many tips that can help people with their financial goals. And I would say the 10 easiest tips that I have found to work for myself and the people I service and my friend, my family, my friends are definitely the ones I'm going to be talking about today. I would say now that we're starting a new year, the first one is evaluate your last year's bills. I think that's really important. People don't realize how much they're spending, what they're spending on. So being able to evaluate and know, like, okay, if I have a mortgage, I have rent, I have, National Grid, Con Ed, I have a car payment. Know what you're spending. Determine which, and this is really key, determine which months were the most expensive and why. I know for me, and anyone who owns or lives on their own and has Con Ed bills, things like that, I know the summertime is the most expensive time for me. And the reason why it is because it's hot and I have the AC going.
Mm.
So my Con Ed bill is always higher in the summer months than any other months, right? And for me, I'm off in the summer as a teacher. So when I'm off, I tend to do more things than the school year. So keeping that in mind, knowing which months you spend more or less is really important. It's because you're determining the patterns in your behavior so you can figure out how to best plan for those things. If I know my summer, I'm going to spend more during the summertime, I have to save a little bit more during the other months, right? So that would be my number one tip. Second tip is set realistic financial goals. Every single individual knows how much they're getting paid, how much they want to use or spend. So make sure that if you're trying to save in a savings account for a house, for a car, for a vacation, know how much money you could be put aside, right? Is really key. Because we want to be realistic. If you're going to say, okay, I'm bringing in $3,000, but I want to save $1,000, that's kind of unrealistic because you might not be able to afford that, right? And like all goals, especially like New Year's resolutions, if you can't do it, you're going to break it. So be realistic. If $50 is a goal and it's a doable goal, do that, right? Something little is better than nothing. Um, you know, especially if you when you get out of college and you want to pay off a debt, you want to make sure that you're able to pay more than you're allotted or you're required, because then it'll bring down your interest rate, right? Number three, I think this is really important, is set up an emergency savings fund. Especially right now during this pandemic, a lot of people got laid off. Any financial advisor will tell you that it's best to have at least between 3 to 6 months of take home income. A lot of people don't know that. And for us, if you really think about it, 3 to 6 months is a lot to save. So you need to make sure, just in case, like a pandemic like this, that you have that opportunity to have that amount of money saved. You know, um, $50, like going back to $50 a month, can add up to a lot after the year, right? And what people don't also think about, and I never thought about it too, is there's so many banks out there. Do your research, right? Because if you have a savings account in a different bank, it's kind of like that out of sight, out of mind. You never think about it to want to grab it out.
Yeah.
Until you never think about it to touch it, right? So use a different bank than the one you have for your checking. Um, then the number 5 tip I would say is set up, and this correlates kind of like what I said in tip 4, set up separate savings accounts for different goals. So if you have a house goal, put that in one account. If you have a vacation goal, put that in another account. Because you're going to realize if you put 10 here, 10 here, 20 there, 30 there, it all adds up. And then you're going to see it growing, right? Which I think is really important, because a lot of times you don't, if it's not there, if it's out of sight, out of mind, you're not thinking about it. It's like the money that you don't have, like the money that you put in your 401k. At least for a teacher, I put it away. I don't see it. I never saw it to begin with. It's there, right? So keep that in mind, right? Another tip is, I would say, is always shop around to save on services. This is really key. I know a lot of things that happen. Like Miss Grateful Realtor over here said that she had an explosion in her house today, right? Things like that happen. The first thing you're going to do, whatever it might have been, the explosion might have been you needed an electrician, you might have needed a plumber, you might needed, like, whatever you needed. A lot of times you're going to call the first person, whoever can get here right away is the person you're going to go with.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? That person might not be cost effective. So having a couple of different service providers in mind, so you can like check, especially like something like when you're doing an oil change. If I know my mechanic is charging this amount of money, but another mechanic is charging less, logically speaking, I'm going to go to the one that charges less, making sure that they have good reviews, obviously, that people go to them, so that you're getting a good deal for the bang of your money, right? I think that's really important too, and a lot of people don't think about that. I would say the 7th tip that I would offer people is declutter your house and get rid of excess.
Oh my God, that is
Like, donate used clothing, books, toys to charities and shelters. One, Eric and I were talking about domestic violence and how we want to touch 1 million homes. And this is really key, because charity is so important, right? Besides the fact that it is a tax write-off, some things, obviously not everything, but one, you're helping people in the community, and there are things that you don't need and you don't use, so might as well get rid of them, right? Donating them. And making sure when you declutter and get rid of excess, that because you're doing that, set aside 5 to 10% of your spending for pleasure. So if okay, this month I want to spend $300 just for fun, any which way I want to use it, make sure that 5 to 10% of that is for something you genuinely want to do, because you deserve it and you earned it. And the more things you do that brings pleasure to your life, the more you're going to want to save, because you're enjoying your savings and that you're working hard for it, right? The next tip, the 8th tip I would say, is look for coupons Look for deals. Look for everything on sale. This is definitely my number one forte because I always do this. This is one of the ways I got myself out of debt, is because I made sure that I didn't buy that dress from Banana Republic that I loved. Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, I could spend $120 on it, but I made sure that I had a coupon for it, a 20% coupon for it, or I had a discounted gift card, you know, especially for excursions too, not just clothing or dinner. I always make sure that whatever I'm spending, I am getting my value for it by getting a discount. Discounted gift cards, Groupon, you know, all of that. My website, shop.com, all places that you can earn cash back, earn discounted gift cards, all the things that are really important for anyone who really wants to save, right? My ninth tip is I definitely would buy secondhand things. What do I mean by that? A lot of people don't like it. I know I don't like going to a thrift store, consignment store, but a lot of times, if you are genuinely getting something from a consignment shop, you can get something that's really high end, like a Louis Vuitton bag for a cheaper cost, right? Something like, Jimmy Choo's for a cheaper cost, and you'll still be stylish and you'll still be looking your best. And if you don't like that, like me, I feel weird buying used clothing, but you can have what we call a hold a swap, not shop party. What do I
Mm.
mean by that? Your friends get together. People get together all the time. We have parties. When you're having a party, everyone brings clothes that they don't want, or things that they might not fit into, or things that they might not use. And you can swap your clothes, swap your items for new things that you might want. So keep that in mind. And that helps you save. So you're getting like a new wardrobe, but at the same time, you're saving on buying. And the 10th thing is like, have a everyone living in New York City. If you're living in New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut, anywhere, even San Fran, everyone, if you need to survive in this world, is you need multiple streams of income.
Mm-hmm.
So having a side hustle is very important, regardless of what that hustle is. Making sure that you have extra income coming in is always going to be key, because it's going to help you, one, survive, help you to save for that house that you might want, that vacation that you might want. In addition to that, it can help you bring you out of debt, and using your skills and talents are definitely key, because having a skill and being passionate about it and doing something that you want because you are passionate for it is going to bring up that side hustle and give you what you want and desire. And I think I forgot, there's one more thing I wanted to say, which is, and I don't think I talked about it, and this is one of the most important things, is setting and tracking your budget monthly.
Mm.
That is really important. I know I personally have used Excel, right, to help track my finances, or Sheets, Google Sheets, or programs such as Shop Financial, or even getting a financial advisor. These are all programs that can help you bring down your debt and help you earn money and save money, which I think is key to the way we live nowadays. So if you have any easy tip, because I said 10 of them, but we have like a good amount of individuals in our Zoom audience. You might have a tip that I didn't think of. So, or anyone watching on our Facebook replay, right? Post it in the chat in our Zoom audience so we can share it with our viewers. Or if you're watching on the replay, comment. We would totally love to hear your thoughts and what you have to say. The more tips, the better, because we're a community and we want to learn from each other. And I might have said a lot, but there are many more tips out there that we might not have even be thinking about.
Well, I do see at least one question, and I also want to acknowledge something. So if you've watched any of our 16, 17 episodes, you probably have met Fiona. She has never sat for an entire show wanting to learn the way she's learning. So just so you know, if you don't think this information is valuable, this cat is like literally engaged, will not move, and is like, what else do we need to know, Mom? She's making me sit down and make sure that I don't go nowhere. because there was a lot going on this past couple of days. And I want you to know that that might have seemed like a lot of information. And it was, right? And this is Jasmine's forte. So if you're like, wait, I got lost at step 3. What happened after step 4? What's going on? How did she know all this? We're going to send out a recap. And if you want help in any step 1 through 10, tell Jasmine where you're stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then schedule a consultation to go through that step with her. Because I guarantee you at the end of that consultation, you will have felt like $1 million and you could probably earn it or save it too. Oh, hello, there was a reminder of something. And I just, boom, thank you for the reminder. Thank you. Okay, 4 more times because I have 6 emails, so it has to go through all 6 emails to tell me. We're not kidding, it's still going. And Jasmine, those tips are amazing. Fiona approves. And we do have at least a question in the chat. I saw at least one, and Eric is probably managing those that we can get to in a moment, but maybe we should go to, I know you did, and I've seen it. How can, or is there anything else I should say, not how can people constantly save money and actually earn money? I know how I do it because you showed me how to do it.
Yeah.
But like, what can you briefly say so that they understand what you're doing for me and for so many other people in the world?
So there's definitely what I'm doing. The major thing that people need to do that don't do, that they can do it. That's the thing, they can do it, is what I call the double, triple dip, right? Double dip or triple dip. This is when you leverage a certain amount of money, and you get paid on that same amount of money 2 or 3 times. It literally is amazing, and a lot of people just don't do it. I don't understand why they don't, but it's okay, because a big part of why they don't do it is probably they don't know how. So if you don't know how and you don't know what I mean, definitely schedule an appointment, a private appointment with me, so I can show you. It's easier to show it to you one-on-one so that I can help you individually, because everyone's finances are at a different point, and finances aren't something that people like to talk about, but they should, because in reality, everyone needs help with their finances. So,
and we do have some questions here, and Fiona's she's all ears, and I'm responding to messages in the chat because people are writing to me directly, Jasmine. Just so you know, I'm hearing things like, I absolutely love this group. Thank you for all the great information. I don't know if Eric sees this because it's written just to me, so I don't know if he's seeing that also. And then, oh, someone's looking for an apartment. I can help that one too. I'm looking for the private DMs. Love, love, love. Hello. And then the public ones, Eric, do you want to, was there a specific comment or question? I know Vanessa had one. Was there any, and do we want to handle Vanessa's first? And then there was another one. Fiona, I'm so sorry to get in your.
So there's 2 questions.
okay.
I do see one from Vanessa. This is any suggestions for a financial advisor. I don't know if you want to handle that first, or you want me to read the other question.
Well, that was Vanessa Benitez, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I can. There is a couple of people that I do know. I could speak to you about that. We could do that more privately. And I also can help you too. So we can continue with that. Just schedule a consultation, or I can privately DM you on Facebook.
Yeah. And then as far as that financial advisor question too, asking yourself first, what do you need the financial advisor for? Because sometimes like you might not need it. It might also be a tax strategist. It might be like a health coach. It might be like something. So something else I also want to invite you guys to do is when you set up a consultation with Jasmine, bring last month's credit card statement and bank statement. There's no judgment here, guys. I mean, this is what she does. When you go to a doctor, they look at your body. When you go to a shopping consultant or a marketing specialist, they have to look at your, whatever you got. You're buying a home, we got to look at your finances. So bring your finances and allow Jasmine to help you earn money and save money, and bring those to the table. Like send them over to her, white out your information and then just send it over so she can say, oh, wow, you could take all this shopping like cat food and, hand soap and maybe, and cat litter and maybe certain things for the home and a couch. Like she can tell you, wow, you're buying that. So hopefully you're not buying couches every month. That'd be weird. But, but things you're buying, she can direct you where to go. So it's a more intent, there's an outcome that's beneficial, not just like a chit chat. And we can have parties to chit chat. Like we like to party. We like to party. Okay, Eric, what's the next question? I'm
So
sorry.
yeah, next question. This was from Tamara Dyer. How can you stick to a budget when you have a large family?
Well, one, Tamara, I think the biggest thing is making sure you know exactly how much income is coming in. And when you have that income, and that correlates to the Excel sheet that I was saying, keeping track of everything and what your spending is, to then see what you have left. And moving forward with that is making sure that, one, all your basic needs are being met, right? Having a home, having food, having clothing, all those needs. That's number one, right? And then after that, you can look at what you have left to splurge a little bit, to have those savings. But I know, because I know you personally, it's not easy. And there's a lot that it entails. So we can talk more about that on a separate, less public page about you specifically, right? So
And
thank you guys for those questions.
And Jasmine, I just wanted to just piggyback off something, because it is not everybody here is on a fixed income. Some people have, myself, we get money when properties sell or when we sell a product, because there's plenty of people that are watching live or on the replay that are business owners, and they only like exclusive commission. So, and then there's a great way that you can actually look at the checks and take every check and kind of budget it appropriately. And so just noticing that if you're thinking, oh, this doesn't apply to me because I don't have a salary, oh, hell yeah, it does. It applies to you even more, because you have to budget when you get your $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 or $600, $30, whatever it is, to look at what are you going to do with that. And also it's not easy, but Jasmine can make it easy. There has been so many times where like, I just can't. And then Jasmine's like, hold on, let's open the thing. Let's look at this. Let's go together one step at a time. When you come to me about houses, I can. But when it talks about money and organizing and like checklists, and Eric handles like your social media and like the marketing, I can't, but they can. So going back to you, Jasmine, what else am I missing, Eric or Jasmine? I want to make sure.
There is one more question while we were answering questions. This one's from well, first of all, I'm going to acknowledge all the comments before. So they all love the idea of swap parties. So that's awesome. Something I learned today.
Don't your husband though, just your clothing and stuff.
Well, it's clothing stuff, things that you want to get rid of, but at the same time, a lot of people want to get rid of things. So just because you might be sick of this black bag, that's new to someone else, and you might be looking for a pink bag. So there's multiple ways you can swap.
Learning here. Learning. All right. So on to the next question I see. This is from Felicia Black. How do you start a side hustle without having a startup fee?
It's a very good question. I think it depends on what it is and what you're looking to do. For me, and I know quite a few people on our Zoom audience might have a side hustle. If not, I know for a fact that at least there's 5 of us that have a side hustle on the Zoom, in our Zoom audience. And the way I started is because I was really passionate about makeup and skincare. And through that, I learned and found a business that taught me how to convert my spending into an earning. And I became a shopping consultant that way. And I haven't looked back. I've been doing it for 5 years. Once again, it helped me learn about my finances, get my finances in order, and it helped me get out of debt. I was like in $60,000 worth of credit card debt. And people wouldn't know that because I lived my life the way I lived it frivolously. I was, like I said, you want to say, Lay, let's go to Costa Rica tomorrow? Pre-pandemic, I would have been like, I got you. Let's go.
So this is information. I've known her 20 something years. I never knew this. So we're talking about, and I just so you know, in 2017, I filed for bankruptcy with $75,000 worth of credit card debt. Wasn't something I caused, but I accepted responsibility. And I never knew that Jasmine, in her side hustle, created a way to get out of $60,000 of debt without bankruptcy, or maybe she did. I don't know. You didn't file for bankruptcy, right?
No.
But and then you brought up a big, an important word is find something you're passionate about. Because when you find something you're passionate about, it's not going to occur like work. We talked a little bit about this actually last week on last show, like, and how, you're unemployed, underemployed, looking for, a way to earn a living in this market. And then we talked about real estate or possibly something else. And Jasmine, in her passion, found a way to pay off $60,000 worth of debt. I just want you to like hear that number one more time, because I've been talking to Jasmine forever. Like, give me a statistic that's going to wow me. I need a statistic that's going to wow me. And she's like, I don't know, just help people like every day. And I'm like, no, this is a wow factor. Like, people need to know, guys, that $60,000 worth of debt. And
it's not just debt, it's credit card debt, which is the worst debt you can have.
Oh, yeah. Because, like, yeah, that's
the worst debt you can have.
And then what I'm also aware and present to, not only did you pay off $60,000 worth of debt, this girl travels. She's no joke. Like, during the pandemic, she still found ways to find a way to go to safely, restaurants, lunches, dinners. If you have those friends, like Dave Ramsey teaches this amazing course, and, you don't basically go out and you don't do anything. And then you're just like, and until you have everything done, I'm not saying that there's steps or whatever, but I don't know. Jasmine is not someone who doesn't go out. She is doing stuff like constantly, and she's taking what she's passionate about and she's earning a living and paying for that. So the person who asked, how do you pay for your side hustle? Well, there might be without a startup fee. There might be a small startup fee. I mean, there is. I don't think there's a single side hustle where there's no fee. But if you're super passionate about it, like real estate, there's a fee. But then I love helping people move. Shopping consultant, there's a fee. But if you actually love turning your earnings into savings and looking in other people's eyes and being like, wow, like you're actually comfortable with your budget. And wow, like you got control of your finances. And wow, you didn't have to stay in that crappy relationship because we found a way for you to move on with your plans. Or that terrible job. Wow, you walked away from that. And that's like a superpower. That's a real superpower. So Jasmine, good for you. I had no idea.
Yeah. In regards to Felicia, it was Felicia, right, Eric?
Yes.
Yeah. Felicia, if you want to touch base with me too later on and set up a schedule, I can also talk to you a little bit about that. There are some side hustles that you might have to put money into it, but there are some ways that you don't need to, and you can figure out different ways to go about it. So I do know of something like that. So
God, she's got some underground tips. So apparently if you want Jasmine's time, I would definitely ask her for those underground tips. And she has ways to always find money. She finds money everywhere. It's like money attracted to Jasmine. And you didn't just, even in this pandemic, Jasmine, from what I know, you didn't just save, you're still going away. I want you guys to also understand, this is someone who really speaks from experience. Your family, recently you had to invest a good amount of money.
Yeah.
And some family dynamics. And you, out of everyone in the family, were the only one that had that, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't have a family, so then I was able to have access to being able to use certain income to help with that.
Right. And so not in just a short time, you went from this seems like a short time, $60,000 worth of debt and all this. How many years ago was that?
That was 5 years ago.
That's crazy. So she paid off $60,000 worth of debt. And then you had, I don't know if you want to disclose the number, but I know the number, that you are handling the affairs of your mom who passed away with your cash out of your own pocket. Yeah. And it's a significant dollar amount. And she's still going away. She's not saying I'm eating ramen noodles. She does not eat ramen noodles unless it's from the ramen place down the road. And that's the actual ramen place. It ain't a box of ramen, just so you know.
Yeah.
So, Eric, I think did we answer? Oh no, some people wanted to share some stuff. I think there was a person or two we were going to share.
Yes. I also mentioned.
Before that, there was a follow-up comment from Felicia. She just mentions that I constantly get ads in mail about real estate, but not sure what's legit or what's a scam. So That's fair, right?
For
Oh,
real estate, you should talk to Erica for
Yeah,
sure.
you could talk to
You
Erica
can
about
schedule an
that.
appointment with Erica for real estate and a schedule appointment for me for a side hustle that might be different. And then you can figure out, right? More knowledge is power. That's what it comes down to.
knowledge is power, and some things are scams. I have bought scams, and on Instagram, there's a lot of things being sold. And
Mhm.
I bought something in the middle of the pandemic, spent about 200-ish dollars, and it had, thousands of Instagram likes and comments and a busy page. It looked like doesn't look like my Instagram page yet. So it's a busy page. My page is in progress. And I'm going to tell you, I bought it because of what Instagram said. Jasmine's a real person. I've known her for over 20 years. And she's been doing business with Eric for a while and an entire team. They're real people that can really help you. And so I want you to know that don't buy on Instagram or Yahoo or whatever, Google, because they have a bunch of reviews, because they might not be real people. You should set up a consultation, even for real estate, to find out what's real, what's not. Reach out, because there's a lot of stuff that ain't real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But actually who I wanted to highlight was someone that it's a program that I mentioned. It's called Shop Financial. So the person that I wanted to highlight was Robert Curtin. He's a Shop Financial agent. And I think he's going to share some information about that program. And then Eric is going to share, because he's used the program and how it's helped him too.
Well, thank you very much, Jasmine, for inviting me tonight. And thank you, Erica and Eric, for having me on. As Jasmine has said, I'm also a shop.com owner. And I took the Shop Financial area as my expertise because I'm an accountant. I'm currently not working because of the pandemic, but this helped me little by little. And thank God the government's giving us money, so that's helping us out. But what we have is something called the debt shredder. And you're probably saying, okay, what does that do, Rob? What it is, it's the software that banks use to gain their interest, but they reversed it to help you save money. So what we do as a Shop Financial agent is you come to us with your debt. All we need to know is how much debt you're in, what percentage you're in, and how long the debt is. Now, what they do is we don't need any account numbers or anything like that because that's your own private business. And then depending on how much debt there is, there are algorithms to get you out of debt. Correct me if I'm wrong, Eric? And when you go to a debt, one of the Shop Financial agents, we will see the debt you have before we even offer you the program to see whether it's worth it for you or not. And then if it is, then we will give you an analysis and see whether it's worthwhile for you. And Eric, that's probably what they did for you, correct?
For me?
Yes.
No, Eric.
It's continue, Rob.
What we do is they can get you out of debt, believe it or not, even if you only have $1. And it tries to get you out of debt quicker than it would be normally if you were to do it yourself. And Erica, this would be good for you because if you ever sold somebody a house and you were ever to come into our business and become a Shop Financial agent, you could then go around and sell the debt shredder to them to get them out of debt. And that would also be a reference to you from that buyer for another buyer to come to you, which is not a nice thing to do. We also, we have a set amount of money that you pay each month. Eric, correct me if I'm wrong. And then after your debt is paid off, what they suggest you do is take that same amount of money and put it into an account for 1%, and that will actually gain money over the time. So you're actually saving money in one way and gaining money the other way if you keep this debt shredder program. So Eric, I'm going to now give it over to you since you are actually an owner of it, and you can fill them in on kind of what I told you.
Sure, Rob. So thanks again for explaining it, and thanks again. I actually use the Shop Financial, so because even though I think I'm the youngest person on this call, right? No.
We don't know
Yeah,
about
definitely
that,
not.
but
You know what
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm so, oh yeah. I'm so sorry, Eric.
On a 16.
But the point I want to make across is that even though I'm like a relatively young person, like I at one point I had upwards of $20,000 in credit card in bad debt. So I thought, how can I ever pay this off? And I didn't really have a schedule. I was just throwing like my paycheck at one account, throwing my paycheck at another account. Like, okay, it's getting paid off. I saw no end in sight. So, like Rob said, I had the shop financial person do analysis on me, and he showed me like a time schedule of how to pay it off.
Mm.
And fast forward, so I've been using it for now for 3.5 years, and right now I'm down to, well, actually, since we're in January, I actually have about 3,000 left. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Oh,
Yeah,
Now, Eric, a question I want to ask you. Did you
yes,
notice that the payment of the actual debt shredder was kind of paid off in your savings the first couple of months?
I did. I thought that was really strange because, like Jasmine said, like I set aside a savings budget, an emergency savings budget, um, and it was cutting into it, and I thought this is weird. But you know what? Like, since it gave me an action plan, I just simply stuck to it, no questions asked, and that's led me to where I am right now.
And
okay.
what the program does for you, it literally gives you each day what you're supposed to do. And it's important that you pay it off on a certain day because that's when you save money as well.
Yes.
And the guidelines or what you're supposed to follow is from this dashboard or whatever the program says, okay, pay this amount from, you need a savings account and a checking account. So you pay this amount from this checking account or this amount from the savings account, and you'll save money. If you're interested in knowing more about it, you can go to a website called shopfinancial.com. There are 3 animated videos, which will kind of really blow your mind. Eric, I'm sure when you first saw that first video, how much interest you pay the first year on a loan, or when you're paying it back, it's almost 74% you're paying back in just interest, and the
Mm.
balance is just your principal.
Yeah.
Which, when I saw
Sounds
that,
about
I
right.
almost, and it's not until you're about halfway through your loan does everything even out to about 50-50.
Yeah. Wow.
Sounds about right.
well, thank you, Rob, for
You're
sharing.
welcome. Anytime. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully this helped. If anybody wants to know more, let Jasmine know, and we can kind of get you on the road to recovery if you guys need it.
Thank you so much, Rob.
Anytime.
Good, Erica. What were you saying?
I said very valuable. And I think that potentially scheduling a separate, just kind of maybe an event for just people to hear about the debt shredder would be a great idea, to just get some more info, get some clarification, just people to know, because that is great. Yeah, schedule a consultation if you're watching this now, but I'm thinking that this could be like for realtors and homeowners. They have debt. We collect it. And how could we help people? That's what we're about. Yeah.
Yep. So, thank you everyone for joining our show tonight. Share the video and the show to your friends, family, neighbors, either via text, email, social media. Share your gifts, like Rob shared his gift with us tonight. If you have something to offer or to add value to this community, please reach out to us. That's really important. We do this. We're here for all of you, not just us, right? Also share our link tree backs. I always mess this up, but celebrate your success. Eric will put it in the link, and let's schedule a consultation for you or someone that needs support with staying on a budget, loves to save tons of money, or loves great deals, so that you or them can get a free Watch Your Wallet analysis. Share your referrals. If you know someone that likes to save, likes deals, having a life-changing event happening, either marriage, divorce, having a baby, buying, selling a home, anyone who needs help getting out of debt, or anyone who just wants to gain knowledge about learning how to make saving money their business, let them reach out to us, right? Share your questions or resources, feedback. What we want to hear is, we want to hear more of what you want to know about, how we can add value to the show for you. It takes a village to create this, and this is our passion project. You know, Eric and I, endless hours, right? And Eric as well, trying to get this content out for all of you. And you know, even contacting and listening and hearing what you have to say is so important to us. You know, so it requires all hands on deck. So please share anything you are grateful for, anything that we can help. We are here on social media, in our chat. You know, we just want to do what we can for all of you.
Yes, and actually it does take a village. There are countless hours, and some people are like, well, I don't even know, like, what can I really, really do? One of the simplest things you could do, wherever you're finding this, share it. Share it. And share something you took away. Text your friend, text your family member, something you're like, wow, I had no idea this is a debt shredder. Wow, I had no idea that Jasmine was won $60,000 in debt. She's definitely not that right now. And share that with people in your social media feeds, and do not shop anywhere before going to Jasmine's website first, because I've done it. I've been guilty of it. I've been in a rush and I'm like, I'm just going to go here and go to Macy's. I'm going to go to Home Depot. I'm going to go to Staples. I'm going to go to Best Buy. And then I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I could have gone here, then here. It took me maybe a minute extra, maybe. And I don't even think it's that long. And I could have saved money on every single purchase, or at least found a way around it and earn money and figured out, did I really need to get that? Because if it becomes a big purchase, I reach out, Jasmine's like, no, go here, you have this. And she just lets you know. And I really, really want to encourage you that we're here to help. And we definitely, excuse me, I think I need a drink, but don't worry, I'm only talking about not alcohol. And not there yet. Fiona and I don't drink right now. But yeah, thank you, Jasmine, for the value that you had. And thank you for your entire team being here. Not your entire team, some of your team being here tonight. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you for all of our members. My name is Erica Rose Siegel. I am your grateful realtor. We're signing off now and not forever. We're going to see you on January 10th,
Yeah.
8 p.m. Is that right date, Jasmine? Yep, January 10th?
Yep.
Okay. And we actually have an interesting show coming up because one of our audience members gave me the idea. And again, every conversation that we have is real, raw conversations about real estate, health, shopping, wealth, and how to create a home sweet home. And the next show, we're actually going to talk about how in the world could I give myself the title of your grateful realtor that can help anywhere in the world. Like, who am I to be able to say I'm the best in the business anywhere in the world? How do I make that happen? Like, and can you really trust me? And what do I actually do for like some small town kid in Ohio who maybe needs to, or maybe not a kid is making the move, their mama is making a move. How can I do that? So I've done it. I'm going to do it again. And I want you to know, I want you to trust me. So come back next week, bring all your questions and be ready to be blown away. Like I was tonight. So we appreciate you. We celebrate you. We acknowledge you. And until next time, actually, we're going to take lights out. Do you know I had a little light there? Can you tell? No makeup though. Until next time, we will see you soon. Have a beautiful night and happy Sunday, and go celebrate your success wherever you are.